The fact that politicians who have ignored their own subpoenas can sit on a committee and try to have Hunter Biden face charges of contempt when they themselves have literally ignored literal subpoenas for January 6th, how is this possible? And why is the American people's money and time being wasted on Hunter Biden, who has never in his life been a public official that's held office?
Listen, I'll make this bipartisan. I'll vote for the Hunter contempt today. You can get my vote. You can get my vote. But I want you to show the American people that you're serious. Here is the subpoena to Representative Scott Perry, who did not comply. I'd like to enter this into the record. Here is the subpoena to Mark Meadows. I'd like to enter this into the record, who did not comply. Here is the subpoena to Jim Jordan, who did not comply with a lawful subpoena. I'd like to enter that into the record. Here is the subpoena to Mo Brooks, who did not comply. I'd like to enter that into the record. Here is the subpoena to Mr. Biggs, who did not comply. I'd like to enter that into the record. And here's the subpoena to Mr. McCarthy, who did not comply. I'd like to enter that into the record.
You know, as the days go by, I lose more and more faith in Republicans that have taken seats in Congress. I really just, I can't with this anymore. Don't let the American flag fool you. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Republican. Although I do respect the opinions of conservatives and Republicans. I love conservatives. I love Republicans. But I personally am a liberal. I'm a Democrat, but I've lost faith and respect for Republican lawmakers as of today. Well, let's get to it.
First question is, who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring...
I ain't gonna lie. She's full of shit, but that was funny. Go on ahead, shorty, do your thing.
A congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and...
Mr. Chairman, point of...
Y'all see what I'm talking about, bro? Hold on a second, bro. Y'all see what I'm talking about, bro? You are in Congress. You are in Congress and you are in a government facility. You are at a hearing. You are using the American people's tax-paying money. And you are up in here in this House contempt hearing talking about you have no balls. You are a grown woman. You are an adult conducting yourself in this manner. Members of the military conduct themselves with more poise and self-respect and a respect for the environment around them than this in certain situations. How are you a member of Congress behaving like this? And what's crazy is Republicans swore to God, if Obama gets in office, this country's gonna go to hell. This has been the most embarrassing era of American political history. This Trump MAGA era. I swear to God.
Inquiry.
Mr. Chairman,
If the gentle lady wants to hear from Hunter Biden, we can hear from him right now, Mr. Chairman. Let's take a vote and hear from Hunter Biden. What are you afraid of?
Hold on. Order.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no?
Now, what's interesting is that Hunter Biden showed up to this contempt hearing. He showed up because they had subpoenaed Hunter Biden before, is what a lot of people don't understand. They subpoenaed Hunter Biden before. Now, let's understand something, right? The House Republicans have subpoenaed Hunter Biden before, but he refused to show up to a private deposition. He wanted to do it publicly. In fact, he was offered the opportunity to do it publicly.
To address this investigation publicly, up to this point, we would expect him to testify before Congress. Throughout the fall, the chairman urged Mr. Biden to come appear at a public committee hearing on September 13th. On Newsmax, the chairman stated, Hunter Biden is more than welcome to come in front of the committee. If he wants to clear his good name, if he wants to come and say, there weren't 20 show companies, he's invited today. We'll drop everything. On October 31, on a nationwide podcast, the chairman stated, we have mountains of evidence. Now we're ready to bring them in. We're in the downhill phase now because we have so many documents and we can bring these people in for depositions or committee hearings, whichever they choose. For depositions or committee hearings, whichever they choose, and we can ask these questions with evidence. On November 6th, again on Newsmax, our good chairman stated, I will extend that invitation on your show right now, Rob. If the Biden family wants to join Tony Bobulinski in an official oversight committee hearing and answer questions that the American people have, then that invitation's open right now. They can come on in and do that.
So the Republicans gave Hunter Biden the opportunity to publicly testify and make his case. And now, because they realize that they lose the political advantage from doing it publicly, they now only want to do it privately. Now let's read about exactly what took place. A pair of Republican-led House committees voted Wednesday evening to approve a report recommending a contempt of Congress resolution against Hunter Biden for his failure to comply with a subpoena, hours after the president's son made a surprise visit to Capitol Hill. The resolution will next go to the House floor for a vote by the whole chamber. It's not clear when that vote will be held. In a surprising turn of events, Wednesday morning, Hunter Biden made a short appearance right as House Republicans were starting their two committee meetings. Both the House Oversight and House Judiciary Committees, which subpoenaed the president's son for his testimony as part of the impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden, held separate markups of the contempt resolution. On Wednesday morning, Hunter Biden entered the Oversight Committee room, creating a tumultuous scene inside and outside the courtroom as lawmakers debated what to do. "You are the epitome of white privilege," GOP Rep. Nancy Mace of South Carolina told Hunter Biden from her committee seat. "Coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls." Biden and his lawyers sat down for around 10 minutes before departing. The allegations at the core of the Republican-led investigation stem from unproven claims that the president was involved in or financially benefited from his son's foreign business dealings, making the president's son a crucial witness for their probe. Hunter's appearance was reminiscent of how he approached the subpoena last month. Instead of sitting for his deposition, Hunter Biden held a news conference outside the Capitol and has said he will only testify in a public setting. House Republicans maintained that they were willing to hold a public hearing with the president's son, but only after he sat for a private interview. After the younger Biden did not appear for his deposition, House Oversight Chairman James Comer and House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, now Jim Jordan is an individual who also has ignored his own subpoenas. So this is a committee made up of many of which Republicans who have ignored subpoenas for the January 6th committee, right? The investigation into Trump. Mind you, January 6th was an actual event that took place on camera that was an attempt to derail the American people's votes, to undo an election, to take away the power from the people and cement it in the hands of Donald Trump. That was an actual event that took place with legitimate criminal behavior behind it. These niggas didn't even show up for their subpoenas, but they want Hunter Biden to face contempt charges for not showing up to his own deposition. So I want you, no matter where you land, no matter where you find yourself in the political spectrum, I want you to ask yourself truthfully, what the fuck is going on here? You have people who have ignored their own subpoenas for an event that actually took place, trying to get somebody to face a subpoena for an event that has not been proven in any way, shape, or form at all. This individual who's being summoned has made it clear that he is willing to appear publicly and is not being given the opportunity to do so. Now, the intent of the Republicans is obviously to get Hunter Biden to say something behind the scenes and carefully and carefully and I guess minutely edit it in a way that they can present it to the public in a dishonest way. Hunter Biden is not interested in giving them that opportunity, and he would much rather show up publicly. And he did, in fact, show up publicly and said, hey, look, I'm more than willing to testify right here, right now. Did the Republicans allow him to do that? No, they don't want to hear from him publicly. They do not want the American people to have complete and live access to what Hunter Biden has to say, word for word, line for line, moment for moment. They want to catch him lacking. It's unbelievable foolishness going on here. Absolute foolishness. In a statement, Hunter Biden's lawyer, Abby, I don't know how to say that name. Abby Lowell said that they offered to engage with House Republicans on oversight 6 times, but alleged instead that Comer sought a subpoena for a closed-door deposition. So they've offered a public testimony over and over and over again. Hey, look, we have no interest in hiding anything. we're so disinterested in the smoke and mirrors of this. In fact, we want to talk to everyone publicly, not just you, but to the American people as a whole. And apparently, Comer has said, you know what? No, we want a private closed door deposition first. It's so obvious what's going on here. Ignoring that invitation and proving again that they cared little for the truth and only wanted to move the needle of political support that Chairman Comer confessed was his purpose, the Republican chairs have today commandeered an unprecedented resolution to hold someone in contempt who has offered to publicly answer all their questions, Lowell said. What are they afraid of? It's absolutely insane what's going on here. The fact that politicians who have ignored their own subpoenas can sit on a committee and try to have Hunter Biden face charges of contempt when they themselves have literally ignored literal subpoenas for January 6th. How is this possible? And why is the American people's money and time being wasted on Hunter Biden, who has never in his life been a public official that's held office? You niggas haven't even proved that Joe Biden has been involved in any of Hunter Biden's business dealings involving Ukraine yet. You haven't even proven it. Why are you wasting our time and money with this? January 6th was a real event that we can prove took place. We know that Donald Trump was making calls to lawmakers, trying to pressure them to basically undo the results of the election while American citizens were invading and trashing and destroying the Capitol building. We have evidence of that. I'm afraid the evidence has found itself wanting in this Hunter Biden case. And yet the individuals who ignored their subpoenas for January 6th now find themselves somehow or another in charge of Hunter Biden's fate. You gotta be kidding me, bro. You can't make this up. Now let's look at what's going on with the people that are trying to take down Hunter and Joe Biden. Let's look into them. Let's figure out what's going on with these niggas. So earlier this year, the committee issued subpoenas, and this is the January 6th committee. Earlier this year, the committee issued subpoenas to House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy and 4 other GOP representatives to testify to the committee about their involvement with Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Representative Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, Jim Jordan of Ohio. Jim Jordan is one of the people in the committee against Hunter Biden. A nigga that can't even answer a subpoena is trying to get somebody charged with not answering a subpoena. Make it make sense. And mind you, Jim Jordan didn't even say, hey, look, I'll show up publicly and talk to y'all. I'm not afraid of anything. I'll talk to y'all publicly. Jim Jordan is someone who refused to talk at all. Hunter Biden is saying, look, bro, I'll speak. Just let me speak publicly. Don't manipulate my words and edit it and try to catch me. No, publicly. Jim Jordan didn't even offer that. So we got a nigga right here that won't even offer the American people transparency, trying to get another nigga locked up. Okay. Andy Biggs of Arizona and Mo Brooks of Alabama, all 5 have ignored the subpoenas. So what we have here is House Republicans wasting our time with more bullshit. The reality is this. Republicans have no evidence for anything that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden might have done together as it pertains to Ukraine. This is why Marjorie Taylor Greene is in court posting pictures of Hunter Biden flying, like evidence of Hunter Biden flying out hookers. What does this have to do with Joe Biden? Hunter Biden wasn't even an elected official as it pertained to any of the business dealings between himself and Burisma. Joe Biden was not directly involved in any of those business dealings. And even if Hunter Biden did use his father's name to seal the deal in an indirect manner, it's not a crime because Hunter Biden's not an elected official, and if Joe Biden himself was not directly involved in any such dealings, it's not a crime. But here we have the American taxpayers' dollars being wasted on political theater. Because you know what's impossible to take place? There's no way the Department of Justice is going to actually sit there and lock up Hunter Biden or charge him with a crime when the people that are pressing the charges have they themselves violated subpoenas. How the fuck you gonna get me to charge this nigga with a contempt of Congress or contempt of court charge when the people on the fucking case trying to present it to me, y'all have ignored subpoenas too? So like, stop wasting my time with this bullshit. That's what the DOJ would probably say. It's like, look, we not doing this with y'all. Go back to playing games. We not playing games with y'all. Bye. Department of Justice got more important shit to do than play games with Jim Jordan and friends. Absolute buffoon, just absolute nincompoop activity. Like, y'all over here trying to play games. Like, bro, y'all have had all these years to prove all of this shit about Joe Biden. We got evidence that Trump and his cronies have engaged in multiple acts of criminal activity. It just has to be proven in court that they're guilty. But there's mountains of evidence proving that Trump overstepped his boundaries with the 2020 election. The same can't be proven about Joe Biden and Hunter. So I maintain my opinion that this is absolute foolishness, and the Republicans should be ashamed of themselves. MAGA should be ashamed of themselves. That's just what I think. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.